Hello everyone! In this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. Today we will specifically discuss two tweets made by DG ISPR. Both have received community notes, what type of notes have been added, and what impression does this give. Along with that, today is the 5th of July, and on this occasion, many democratic leaders are condemning the martial law and talking about flourishing democracy. And the most interesting part is that the Pakistan People's Party is leading in this. Today, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari also released a message which I will share with you. Alongside this, I will also inform you about a positive update regarding the military trials that happened. It's been needed for a long time, and I was personally thinking about discussing this issue a few days ago, but other news came up, so the discussion was delayed. However, today I have learned some details regarding it, and I will share that with you in this vlog. Today I will also tell you the results of the poll I conducted on my Twitter regarding this issue. I request you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, today is the 9th of Muharram-ul-Haram. First and foremost, it's clear that this is a day filled with sadness, and today I noticed that even the strictest people tend to show some kindness, and there seems to be a certain fear of God in them. On this day, you tend to see people offering blessings to others, making things easier for many and controlling their anger. But it is surprising that even in this day and age, people are not calling the oppression happening today as oppression. Rather, I came across a tweet I posted today, which was a couplet. Sitting in the gathering of every era's Yazid, people curse the past Yazid. The true essence of Husseiniat is that in whatever era you live in, you must speak out against falsehood and injustice. You must call out the oppressor as an oppressor. And if you cannot stop it physically, at least speak out against it. If you cannot speak against it, then at least feel it in your heart. But the point is that if you are a follower of Husseiniat and you understand the battle between truth and falsehood, then clearly today in every era we see this. I was also reading a column by Muhammad Hanif Sahab today, and he was right when he said that even today a kind of Karbala is happening in Gaza. Did we do anything to help them there? All Muslim countries remained silent spectators while innocent children were being killed in Gaza. That too was a form of Karbala. We commemorate the event of Karbala, but fail to learn from it. The real reason for that sacrifice was to teach a lesson, to stand with truth and not bow down to falsehood. But today, what do we see? We see that not only is there submission to falsehood, but we are actually strengthening it. We are extending our hand to make it more powerful. So you can look at the situation in Gaza the same way. You can look at your own country. So much oppression has happened to so many people. What hasn't happened? But many people, instead of calling that oppression, are justifying it and even supporting it, saying that what is happening is okay. I say that if you study history and believe in it, then what good is it if you don't learn from it? There is no benefit in it. Today I will also discuss this because, as I mentioned earlier, I conducted a poll. The topic under discussion is the recognition of Israel. The Abraham Accords are about the normalization of relations between Israel and Arab countries. The idea of a greater Israel is becoming more realistic now. America has always been a strong supporter of Israel, and you know the millions of dollars it provides to Israel annually. It has essentially made Israel a proxy in the region. But now this proxy influence has spread further, and American bases and investments can be found in various Arab countries. I'm not talking about trade relations, but the silence on many issues and not calling out what is wrong when it is wrong. This leads to questions. Why were Arab countries silent when they saw what was happening in Gaza? Why did they stay quiet? And we, as a nuclear Islamic state, what did we ruin? How many attempts did we make to play a role in Gaza? It's all very painful. Now, there are also reports that in Pakistan there are discussions about paving the way for the recognition of Israel if other countries take the step. I personally feel that most Muslim countries are just waiting for one to take the first step. Mentally, they are ready for this. No clear resistance is visible to the idea of recognizing Israel. No Muslim country has openly declared that it opposes this, so it seems that everyone is just waiting for others to take the lead so that no one bears the brunt alone. This is the situation I see. Now, this debate has started in Pakistan, and I conducted a poll on my Twitter account to ask the public's opinion. I asked that if Saudi Arabia and other Muslim countries recognize Israel under the Abraham Accords, should Pakistan also recognize Israel? Many people believe that if Pakistan recognizes Israel, it may receive several benefits: political, economic, and diplomatic. This temptation is always put forward when such discussions arise. History tells us that this temptation has always been present when such attempts were made in the past. On the other hand, practical-minded individuals say that why should we suffer when there is potential benefit for Pakistan? They argue that we should make use of whatever advantages are available to us. They don't see any immediate harm in recognizing Israel. They argue that just because we don't recognize Israel doesn't mean the issue is solved or that the situation is improving. Their point of view is that we should seek to benefit from relationships with Israel if no one is directly threatening or fighting us. Now, based on the responses I received from this poll, the opinion was very clear. It wasn't ambiguous like the government's view. 95% of the respondents said that Pakistan should not recognize Israel, while only 5% supported the idea. This was the opinion of nearly 7,000 people who participated in this poll. According to them, Pakistan should not recognize Israel. The Pakistani government hasn't yet made a clear stance on this, but PTI's position is on record. Imran Khan has stated that Pakistan should follow the policy set by Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah on this issue. So let's see what happens in the future. Let's move on. Today is also 5th July, an important day in history. It was on this day that General Zia-ul-Haq imposed martial law and arrested Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. He dissolved all assemblies and suspended the constitution. He announced the imposition of martial law on television and radio. That day was also in 1977, but even on that day, this was not the first time for Pakistan. Nor was it the first time that Pakistan had directly fallen under a military dictator like this. In fact, this was a very old pattern. Even before that, when you know the cases of General Ayub and General Yahya occurred even before them, the influence of the Pakistani army generals on the political system of Pakistan had gradually increased. Several times they directly became rulers of Pakistan by becoming military leaders. And this day came for General Zia-ul-Haq as well. Now, all these things are history, but what happened was that General Zia-ul-Haq, who was himself ranked 6th or 7th among the generals, was picked by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto out of merit or out of seniority and made the army chief. The reason he was chosen was because Bhutto wanted him to stay under his control and be loyal to him, so that Bhutto could handle big political matters with him. But as they say, this is where your downfall begins. After a few years, General Zia overthrew Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and derailed Pakistan's democratic system. Along with this, the brutal treatment of Pakistan People's Party started, which you can now see happening in the country with Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI. I wasn't there at that time, but I have heard a lot from others, and from some historical accounts, I get an idea of what happened. Even at that time, a lot of cruelty was done to the workers of Pakistan People's Party. Many of their leaders were put in jail. Ultimately, you saw that Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was sentenced to death due to a controversial court ruling. This was the era of General Zia. At that time, many of them, including those who suffered, couldn't organize a strong movement against General Zia to release their leaders. Along with this, it is also sad that even in that era, the media, which was already very limited, obviously there was no vibrant social media, and even national media was not very strong. Nevertheless, some of the journalists who raised their voices against military rule were even whipped, faced lawsuits, were imprisoned, and their livelihoods were taken away. They also suffered greatly. So what is happening in Pakistan today seems like a replica of that time. It feels like we never learn from history. If the country didn't progress after that tenure, How can we expect the country to move forward by repeating the same methods and applying the same formula? If at that time you thought that dictatorship was strong, that the dictator controlled everything, that nothing improved in Pakistan under this military rule, in fact, it led to its downfall. And this entire culture of extremism, the jihadi culture that they pushed Pakistan towards, came from that era. After that, you saw Pakistan being used in a proxy war by America, which prevented stability in the country for many years, and peace never returned. The same mistake was later repeated by General Pervez Musharraf. We saw the same thing again when we became part of a war, and since then, terrorism has never been completely eradicated from Pakistan. It feels like we keep repeating the same mistakes. During General Zia's time, the political leaders who supported him, much like today, when many politicians sit in the lap of the establishment during Zia's time, the political leaders of PMLN, or Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, sat in his lap. In fact, it was during his era that Nawaz Sharif was introduced and launched. Just like politicians of that time supported the military ruler, today we see the same situation where politicians are happily playing puppets to strengthen the military dictators. So we are seeing a replica of that same situation today. It is regrettable to see that the same PMLN that was once aligned with General Zia today, after the very same Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was hanged by Zia, they are now sitting together in a coalition, enjoying power. They have united, and now Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has the audacity to say that dictatorship was a dark phase in history, and now we need to focus on democracy. But brother, if you have chosen the same path today that strengthens dictatorship, that strengthens military dictators, and that strengthens a hybrid system, then where are you standing when you talk about democracy? You have already sacrificed the very democracy that your grandfather Zulfikar Ali Bhutto gave his life for. How many times have you all repeated this cycle? During the 90s, the same thing happened when your mother, Benazir Bhutto, became Prime Minister twice, and both times her government was overthrown. You know, the military establishment was always behind this, using the judiciary or in some cases directly intervening. But in the background, it was the generals pulling the strings. Today, we see the same situation. PTI is now under attack, Imran Khan is in jail, his life is in danger, and his party is unable to do anything despite their efforts. Imran Khan's actions have led to the collapse of the constitution. The courts have been made dysfunctional, but the difference between that time and now is twofold. The first difference is the awareness brought about by social media, which has kept a narrative alive among the people. The second difference is Imran Khan himself, who has shown incredible resilience, enduring immense hardship in jail, standing up to the establishment and even defeating them. These two differences are crucial. The PTI supporters, despite everything, are still standing strong, ready for any movement, and they are demanding the release of their leader, Imran Khan. These are the things to note. Let's see if this time the outcome will be the same as we saw in the case of Bhutto, or will history take a different turn? Let's hope we see a different outcome. Moving forward today, Ali Amin Gandapur said that he does not accept the decision regarding the reserved seats. He mentioned that when he submitted his nomination papers, he clearly stated his affiliation with PTI. Therefore, he will approach the court for this matter. But I don't understand why this should even be a statement. What is its legal standing? Nothing at all, because this decision has already been given by the Supreme Court, and after review, it remains. So can you go to any other court after the decision of the highest court? This is just a statement, it doesn't hold any legal weight. Also, today it is interesting to note that Asad Kaiser has submitted a bill in the Assembly Secretariat related to military trials. You might remember that the decision regarding military trials came from the same bench, which stated that civilians could also be tried in military courts. They also said that if the trials were conducted correctly, there should be an option to appeal. For this, they have directed the Parliament to create the law to allow appeals in high courts against sentences by military courts within 45 days. Obviously, this government wouldn't be in a hurry. They would rather never make such a law and keep PTI's workers imprisoned. What legislation is necessary here? They remain silent. The court's decision wasn't even implemented. The court doesn't seem to be concerned either. For them, it's become a routine matter. And why would they feel sympathy for PTI workers? Right now, the entire joint bench is aligned against PTI. So, no one is going to question why they didn't implement the decision. Nevertheless, it was important that PTI raised its voice on this matter, asking why the law to allow appeals hasn't been created yet. But they didn't make much noise about it. However, Asad Kaiser has taken the initiative by submitting a bill to the Secretariat, hoping for some progress on the matter. Let's see how long it takes for the law to be made. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.